everybody. Welcome to our very first edition of Fortune's Weekly Catch, where we're going to go over our weekly specials, including fish and gourmet items, and introduce you to some of our team so you can get to know them and recognize their faces when they pop in your doors. First of all, right next to me here, we've got the seasoned veteran, Mr. Chris Nelson. And to my other side, we've got Drew Wilson, who is newer to our team, but brings a lot of chefy experience.
Let's say Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, right there. Rookie of the Year. We use a lot of baseball terms around here, mostly because of him. Anyway, so Drew, do you want to tell me a little bit about your background?
Sure. I was executive chef of a few restaurants here in the cities, mostly primarily seafood driven. So it gave me a great knowledge to kind of transition into a sales position here with Fortune Fish. Along with just fish background, they have obviously the gourmet line, which we're going to talk about briefly, I think. Just been cooking for a long time. I saw a great opportunity here with Fortune Fish and decided to jump on it. So,
cheers to that. What about you, Mr. Nelson? You've been around a long time. How'd that work out?
Well, first on that note, he was kind of a pain to deal with as a chef, so it's great to have him on my team. I got into this 20 years ago. Not all in sales, but retail and then wholesale in northern Minnesota and then down here in the city and then out in Hawaii and back here for the last 10 years. And I've been doing sales for 8 years.
So let's talk a little bit about maybe Fortune as a company. Let people know who we are. People may not be familiar with kind of what we do. You want to give them a little rundown?
Yeah. Fortune Fish and Gourmet out of Chicago is one of the major players in the country for fresh and frozen seafood and gourmet. We've recently moved into a new facility that you could put 7 of our old coastals into. So that's been a lot of fun. What's Fortune's all about is its staff, but supporting sustainable fish, buying smart, not buying out of ignorance, quality first, quality driven, and then educating people.
And really what that has meant for Coastal across the street is, in terms of sustainability and just product in general, we've got access to so much more now that we didn't have before. So you'll see a lot of really interesting new fish in the case frequently. And it's really just been fascinating. I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we had 27 different species of fish in the case. And that's just a fraction of what we have through Fortune. So our product catalog is growing all the time. We've always got all kinds of new products, and we like to kind of try to feature those for you guys. In fact, this week, if you receive our weekly newsletter, which if you don't, you can sign up through our Facebook page. There's a join there. You'll get all of our updates in terms of what we're featuring for the weekend. So in terms of fish this weekend, we're going to have featured a Mahi Mahi. We're going to do Tilapia, which is a nice green, real clean fish. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Silk snappers, which are absolutely gorgeous fish, great for eating. And then we've got these nice East Coast Davenport oysters from Cape Cod. So in terms of mahi, now's a pretty good time of a year for mahi. Drew, what are things that you like to do with it?
So mahi, what first comes to mind is going to be seared, grilled. I mean, those are going to be the big players for me when I'm at home, especially in the summer. Definitely like to get the grill out, be outdoors. So grilling it, nice allium salad, something really nice, simple. It's going to hold up. It's going to hold flavor really well. So you can get kind of crazy with the flavors if you want to. You can put some spices with it and whatnot. But grilling would probably be my go-to with the mahi.
Very nice. And what about the silks?
Silks, so whole fish, great preparation. See, the problem with people just get intimidated with eating whole fish, and that's really a shame because it's such a beautiful thing. First off, it's going to keep a lot longer. You're going to have a lot more life on the fish. It's going to taste better. It's going to have the bones. Just like eating meat you eat on the bone, it's going to taste better because it's going to retain all the natural fat and preservatives, if you will. So it's going to eat a lot better. So eating a whole, 1 pound fish, you share it with someone, put it on the grill. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's really going to turn out something spectacular. And it's going to be a showpiece. It's something you can cook for friends. your wife, your partner, your spouse, your children, and you put it on the table, seeing a whole fish hit the table, that is going to be something special.
Oh, absolutely. And in terms of flavor, it's very similar to your basic American red snapper. So you can use it in all the same ways. It's
interchangeable.
Truly beautiful fish.
Yeah, it's a great fish.
And we can kind of address the tilapia. It's a fish a lot of people tend to shy away from or push aside, but really it does have some good uses in the kitchen, and it can be a really great economical choice for menus, when you're trying to make those margins.
Sure, absolutely. Tacos, sandwiches. If you're gonna put in maybe a stew or something along the lines where you need a fish like a bouillabaisse or something like that, throw it in there, add volume. It's fantastic.
It's really great for any kind of purpose, where you're not, you don't want to use a really nice, beautiful, expensive cut of fish for, you can use this really nice, the tilapia that we're currently carrying is from a place called Regal Springs, and it's lake grown tilapia, so it's really fresh, clean meat. It's fairly firm, kind of smaller flake, but same right. The meat's really clean and nice on it. It's got kind of a little sweetness to it, and again, you can use it in anything where you're not looking to really, throw a lot of money into.
Well, I think a lot of people go to it in the grocery store. They see it in the freezer section. They go to it as a white fish instead of cod. They want a different preparation, not a thicker fillet. It's gonna be a little bit thinner. It's very versatile. It can go into a lot of dishes. So
sure.
I think it's a good comfort entry level fish that you can feel comfortable about, and more importantly, being sourced correctly and the way it's handled and the way it's bought is extremely important when it comes to tilapia.
Yeah, they say tilapia is very much a product of its own environment. So, if it's raised in kind of muddy waters, it's going to be a little murky. If it's raised in really clean waters, it's going to be really clean and sweet. And these happen to be, on that end of the spectrum. It's really, really nice fish. So talk a little bit about some of our gourmet stuff.
Sure.
Start with these beautiful olive oils here. Chris, what can you tell us about these guys?
So this is a producer out of Granada, Spain. It's Omed olive oil. They also do vinegars. These here are the Arbequina and the Picual. The Arbequina and the Picual are harvested in November when it's very cool. They only harvest it at night. These particular olive get about an 8 or 9% yield of oil per olive, where a regular extra virgin olive oil that's harvested in the warmer months will push 25%, which is a great cooking oil. These, however, are going to be great finishing oils.
These are really, again, like Chris said, they're really great, high quality oils. The Arbequina tends to have more of kind of a fruity flavor. It's almost got kind of a green banana sort of aspect to it,
grassy,
kind of a little grassy. Really, really nice. Could work really, really well on desserts, or like Chris said, on salad dressings, or just as a straight up finishing oil as a final kind of drizzle on the plate. Whereas the Picual, this one's got a little bit more of a vegetal taste to it. It's got a little bit of kind of green tomato. It's also got some of those grassy notes, and it gives you just a little bit of that pepper tinge that you might be used to from a lot of traditional oils, whereas the Arbequina doesn't really have that. So they're both really great oils, and in fact, the Picual was actually named the #1 olive oil in Spain from the Spanish Ministry of Agriculture, and the #1 olive oil in the world by the International Olive Oil Council. So again, high quality oil, and in terms of price, they tend to run a lot less than some of the other oils out there. So you're getting really good bang for your buck.
Especially, this oil should last you a while. Unless you're eating carpaccio and raw fish every single night, or salads, which is great, those are healthy options, you're not going to go through as much of this as you would a cooking oil.
For sure.
And we were lucky to meet him when he came in, and he was a fantastic guy as well. So
Yeah, one day the owner
One
was
day.
just here a couple months ago, and he rode with us, and just a super humble guy, wealth of knowledge, and a sweetheart.
We've got a great video with him up on our YouTube page, which I'll post a link to underneath this if you're interested in checking that out and learning more about that farm. One of the other things we've got featured this week is this Haku whiskey barrel-aged fish sauce. This is a truly amazing product that I know a lot of you out there could have a lot of fun with. what are some kinds of things you would kind of go to with this?
That is, let's see, fish sauce, whiskey barrel aged fish sauce. So, what the beauty about this product is not necessarily a fish sauce, so like the high quality. Usually, you have great products like Red Boat, some other names out there. This one, what makes it special is the preparation and how they handle it. The care that goes into the product, it really speaks a lot of volumes for it.
For sure. And a lot of the thing that's really cool about this stuff is it's got really rich caramely notes from the whiskey barrels, to the point where you could actually take a spoonful of this and it's drinkable on its own. It's not like other fish sauces.
So
where
I
you
guess
get the real...
maybe we should just go back and
Yeah.
explain maybe what fish sauce is and then the preparation of that. Go for it.
Sure. Yeah. So fish sauce is going to be made from obviously fermented fish, and it's a really potent, powerful ingredient used in a lot of different Asian type dishes. But for this, after it's done fermented and everything, it's put into whiskey barrels where it's aged for I think at least 12 months, and it really does take on those notes, and it takes on a totally different characteristic.
Makes it a touch softer.
Yep.
More palatable.
Exactly. Whereas a normal fish sauce, I know some of you crazy people out there might be taking
Drinking it.
shots of it, but us normal folk, it's a little hard to do. But this stuff is fantastic and works really well in dressings or marinades or
Absolutely.
all sorts of things. It's really, really, truly
Let's read
fantastic.
the ingredients
Dipping
up to
sauce.
them on this
The
side.
ingredients, other side. Let's see. Ingredients: anchovy, salt, sugar.
That's it.
3 ingredients. That's all you got.
No vinegar added.
Nope.
Another thing on those barrels is they've been using them for many, many years,
Mhm.
and they always leave a little bit of the previous batch in that barrel to ferment further and almost work with the wood and create a mold, so no batch will ever taste the same. In fact, these barrels are only going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, they really are good. And we also have got this, it's a whiskey barrel aged shoyu, so very similar, traditional Italian, very traditional shoyu, but again, aged in the whiskey barrels, and it really picks that up. And everybody knows Japanese whiskey is all the rage these days, so putting these on menus or on shelves is, they're always a win. So lastly, our last featured item of the week is going to be this massive jug of Ames Farm Honey. So you want to tell a little bit about Ames? Yeah.
Ames is out of Watertown. I believe their address says Delano, but I believe they started out of Watertown. Fortune Chicago carries a lot of their honey. I think they have over a dozen different flowers they harvest honey from.
Buckwheat,
Lavender,
lavender,
lavender. Yeah, some of them are very seasonal. Some of them can get a little pricier, but it's almost like a nice finishing honey. This is an everyday, grade A wildflower honey that is great as mixed in with dressings, great mixed in with a marinade. If you were to drizzle this over your grilled mahi after with a fresh fruit salsa. It's a very clean honey and very local. Watertown, Delano is about 45 minutes to the west.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, this is really good stuff. And, we're into fair season right now. Fall's starting to come up. Honey is going to be a pretty big ingredient. Like Chris said, it'd go great, with the mahi, or you could do something with the snapper with it too, make a sauce. In fact, you could probably use all of these ingredients to make a pretty solid...
Yeah, fantastic little dressing, either as a marinade or even as a finishing on top of the fish.
Great. All right, so that's our features for the week. Check back next week where we'll go over all the new stuff we've got going down, and keep you in the loop. Again, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and make sure you follow us on Facebook at FortuneFishMN, on Instagram at fortune.fish.mn, and Twitter on FortuneFishMN.
Or just call my cell phone or
just
write
call
me a
Chris.
letter.
Call him anytime you want, day or night. He's always there waiting for you. And also feel free to click subscribe and keep in touch with our YouTube channel. Otherwise, we'll check you next week.